Hey everyone, it's Davey here. I'm coming live at one of our ex-clients, Shannon Davis, who is taking time out of her day to share her story. She signed up with us, I think it was June 2022, and she re-signed with us again for another 6 months. So 12 months she was involved with our team. And well, look, Shannon, do you mind just sharing who you are and where you're from and what do
Sure.
you do?
I am a 54-year-old practitioner, orthopedic surgery. I live in Southwest Florida. Um, I was a nurse for a long time before I became a nurse practitioner. I was a nutrition minor. Um, and I've loved my job for 30 years.
Gotcha. You were telling me earlier on that you actually have some Aussie blood in you. Your mother is from Australia,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
you were living in Connecticut, and you're a
Yep.
snowbird. You're now in Florida.
Right. Now, oh gosh, no, not a snowbird. We live here full time. Snowbirds fly home. We do not have that option.
Oh, you're actually permanent. I apologize. You're permanently down in
Oh,
Florida. That's great.
absolutely. I love it.
How did you end up in our program? How did you end up meeting me and the team?
Instagram. Instagram. It was an Instagram post about menopause and the inability to lose weight in the traditional ways, that, and it hooked me. But I'll tell you, I have a history of dieting, so everything hooks me initially. And then I had an initial conversation with um,
True, I think.
Drew.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he was so great, answered all my questions. I was ready with all my bullshit meters, I guess. I was like, I need to know this because there's a picture of you, right? Everybody wants to, everyone wants to look like that. But then there was so much thought behind it, so much research. I have Hashimoto's, which makes things traditionally pretty difficult to lose weight. So after the conversation with Drew, he hooked me up with a coach that was perfect for me, absolutely perfect for me. She has a history of Hashimoto's, so she understood the struggle a little bit. But I learned a ton. I learned a ton from her. I think the biggest thing for me was that I was going to get to eat.
Well, what do you mean? Like, get to eat? Like, did
In,
you not think you were going to be? You think you were going to be restricted
yeah,
or low
yeah.
calories?
Oh my goodness, yes. That's been my wheelhouse for 40 years. I've been on diet since I was probably 14 years old. Um, I was an 80s girl. My mom was an 80s girl. So we did the Slim Fast, the Jenny Craig, the Weight Watchers, the grapefruit diet, the diet pill diet, the bulimic diet, all of the diets. And there's no other way. What I didn't realize was all that stuff just destroys any type of metabolism you have. It destroyed my thyroid. Um, and I didn't know that. I didn't have your traditional TSH markers. I just went to a functional medicine doctor. I don't like taking medicine because I'm in medicine, so I'm traditionally non-compliant. But so I had to find another way.
So
And
you've
this
been
seemed like
on.
a fit up.
You had your first experience of dieting when you were 14. Gosh, that's
14.
so 40 years you were on the roller coaster, yo-yo diet
Oh, I,
culture kind of cycle. Gosh.
and no matter how many times it failed me, I always went back because it works for a while. It really does. You white knuckle your way through it. I think my biggest, most recent, I guess, my most recent, I hate to call it a failure, but it it failed me. My way failed. I did Optavia, which was I think it used to be Medifast,
Yeah.
and I was training for triathlons. This was 2016. I was 190 pounds. lost 70 pounds, eating 800 calories a day, training for I did 4 triathlons that year. So I lost 70 pounds, super thin, getting up at 4 in the morning before I went to work to do workouts, grueling workouts. I loved triathlons. So I got down to 127 pounds. Most of it was cardio, no weightlifting. There was some because of the swimming, but I felt wonderful. And then I did the New York City half marathon in March of 2017 and had such a major crash. I didn't work out again for like 2 years. I was so tired. My bones were tired.
It's 2017 we're talking about. So when were you diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis?
2000 and January. So I did the New York City half in March of 2017. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Went to 2 doctors, got a different battery of labs, got diagnosed in January of 2018.
So I have no doubt that that was a result of just the chronic undereating and overtraining, specifically cardio,
Yep.
just stress. That's the trigger. It has to be. Maybe I'm wrong, but most of the time it's my hunch. What about yourself? What do you think was the trigger? Was it other stressful thing in your life, possibly? You don't have to tell us. Or was it the
No,
actual burning the candles
I,
at both ends?
I think, I think that's it. My job, I've never, I've always had 2 jobs, like up until now, since Florida's like a vacation with 1 job.
Mm.
I love it. So I never really think of that as stressful. Um, but I was so focused on the numbers and the weight and the mirror. I just couldn't get out of it. I got obsessive. I was so restrictive with my eating. Like I couldn't go out with my friends and have a cocktail. I couldn't, I just couldn't, it wasn't on the program. So I couldn't do it. And that was 18 months of logging every single thing I ate, weighing and logging. I don't mind weighing, but it, I had no life.
Gosh, it's not uncommon for athletes to go through that. They're so obsessed with getting results and they
Yeah.
actually don't fuel their body correctly and they burn out, chronic fatigue, low
Yep.
energy availability, it's called, when you're not giving your body the essential nutrients and calories. It just crashes and burns. That's what I
Yep.
that's what happened. That
Yep.
was
That's what the
okay,
doctor said.
2018. Okay, what happened after that? For you, did it take you long to recover? Did
Uh,
you
it,
regain all the weight? What happened?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Slowly over time, I tried to I'm unfortunately one of those all or nothing. That was also in one of your posts as well, all or nothing. Um, I've been an all or nothing on a lot of levels. And I was like, well, if I can't do triathlons and do Medifast, then who cares? Um,
Mm,
went back to having cocktails, went back to, just kind of doing whatever I wanted. No program, no nothing. Um, stopped going to the gym altogether. Um, I think I might have went sporadically, like, how you go for a week or 2 and then you go back and you're like, and oh, I can't fit it in today. I can't do this. I can't do that. Even though I had been fitting it in every day for 2 solid years at 4:30 in the morning, I was like, no, I don't think I didn't blame the lifestyle. I blamed me. Like it was my failure. It was my failure that I couldn't keep up with that sort of lifestyle. Well, obviously if I can't do that, then there's no other way. There's no other way for my body to be thin in my brain because I had trained it. I had trained my brain over years that restriction and cardio is the way. It's the only way. That's how it works. And if you can't do that, then who gives a shit? Don't you might as well stop trying.
mm. So
Yeah.
then you came into our program, and maybe at the start, you're probably saying, okay, I have to eat more food and not do much cardio. You're probably thinking,
Oh, I was
It's
terrified.
the opposite of what everyone you're supposed to
Yep,
do.
I was terrified. And so Lisa's explaining to me the reverse diet. And I was like, I already know how to do that. I already know how to get fat. I'm here. And she was like, no, no, no. It's still controlled. It's still controlled. I had never heard of macros before. I mean, as a nutrition minor, I know what macros are, but a diet was never centered on that. Protein and protein, carbohydrates, fats, that sort of thing. Fats were terrible for you. Carbs were terrible for you. So it was a protein only for me.
Yeah.
Um, but Lisa was so patient. She was like, listen, she outlined the whole thing from start to finish. She's like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to creep up. I was probably eating 1,200 calories consistently, which I thought was a lot. I was like, oh, I'm totally overeating. That's why I've gained so much weight. But when you go from 800 to 1200, to 12 or 1,300 calories, and you're not doing anything and your metabolism is crap, you're going to gain weight. You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything to help yourself. So that was a hard sell for me, but we just increase slowly. You don't go from 1,200 to 2,200 in a day. And so it was the slowness of it that worried me.
Yeah, the slowly incremental strategic manner is
Strategic, yes, for sure.
so Lisa is your coach, okay. And it sounds like you really connected with her. She obviously has Hashimoto's or had. She's in remission, I believe, now.
Yep.
But it does take a different approach in terms of did you do anything specific with liver support or adrenals?
I did
Your gut?
oh yeah, I did the liver and adrenal. You have those the programs that started me off pretty much, and I had cut out, gluten and dairy, and watched, and at that point, but I was still eating. There was just things that we had to take out. That was a big deal for me. I had labs in the beginning, so over the course, I think I redid the labs at 6 months. So I'd never had trouble with liver enzymes in the past, but when I started, my liver enzymes were high, probably because of the supplemental alcohol intake. Liver enzymes were a bit high. My TPO, the thyroid peroxidase, was off the charts. Cholesterol
Antibodies
was
high.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then 6
Cholesterol.
months later, nothing. And to date, I just had my labs redrawn at a functional medicine office a month or two ago. Still killer. Thyroid, fairly low. All my antibodies are still pretty low. So this has been a long-term thing for me, everything I've learned.
That's amazing, the improvement in macros. Well
Yeah.
done.
100%.
So yeah, I mean, untreated hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's can lead to enlarged thyroid glands and thyroid cancer. I don't want to scare you, but it's great that your antibodies are down and macros are in a healthier position for sure. It's not just about a number on the scale, is it? It's
Right.
adding
It
years
isn't.
to your life and how you feel.
Yep. And then you get to a certain age when you're, I don't know, 25, 30 years old, you're invincible. Nothing's going to happen. Everything's fine. And I think the menopause thing for me was, or perimenopause, whatever it happens to be. So my labs at this point, labs say that I'm stone cold in menopause, but still getting a cycle every month. So I'm just knocking down all kinds of crazy thoughts about female hormones. But it makes a difference. 20 years ago, I could stop drinking, go on the treadmill, and at least lose a few pounds. Now I have to work for every bit of it. And it's the muscle that's helped now more than anything else.
Yeah, what works for women in their 20s and 30s does not work in their 40s and 50s. Your hormones are declining. You're losing your
Yep.
hormones. So it does, stress management is crucial rest and recovery is crucial. The quality of food is crucial. The type of training is critical, in my opinion, because we lose
Yep.
muscle in our 50s, 60s. So the more muscle you have, the more calories you'll burn. And it actually
Yep.
protects against chronic diseases. So you were
Absolutely.
talking about what training? What about Lisa? What did she have you do? Like you didn't cut out all
Um,
cardio, did you? What were you doing specifically?
so um, at her direction, I had started with a personal trainer, with weightlifting. And it was, for me, it has to be measurable and I have to be able to see progress. And I had never lifted weights before. The personal trainer I had was awesome. Worked together with Lisa. So he would give me a workout, or a program. I would share it with Lisa. She would make sure that my nutrition was set, and making sure on the days that I was training really hard that I had more protein and I had more carbs, and I things like that, just to be supportive. And I was killing it. I was absolutely killing it. I was losing weight. I was getting defined. It was probably, I felt better than I had felt ever. I could measure my success. I could make little tweaks with Lisa, make little tweaks with Jason. That was the personal trainer in the gym. Um, and I loved it. I was feeling good. I was sleeping. I'm not a good sleeper, so I was sleeping. Um, I had taken I started taking a couple of supplements, things like that. Some few things that I had gained. You had a guy at the beginning that was doing the labs, and then
Gillis and then Justin.
Phyllis. I was going to think, yeah. So I had the opportunity to have conversations with both of those guys. Ended up with the vitamin D, the thyroid support, a couple things, and it really helped. It really, I mean, I know this is crazy. My skin looked better. I felt better. Also, at that point, and we had just moved to Florida, so I'm pretty sure sunshine helps a little.
It does, of course. It's just the sunshine vitamin or
Yeah.
vitamin D you said you were taking. But our labs, you're a nurse practitioner. How did our markers or comprehensive labs compare to previous ones you've done?
For me, there was a lot of things that I had never had my hormones checked. I just, I didn't feel like I was in that club yet. I didn't, I don't know. I'm a terrible medical person because I don't go to the doctor unless I really need to, or dying, or need a physical for work. But I don't think I had had labs done since I was initially diagnosed with thyroid, with Hashimoto's 2018. They put me on Synthroid, and I did terrible with it. I had heart palpitations. I felt bad. I couldn't sleep. I was jittery. So I went back a couple times, and then when they wouldn't try to work with me and fix it, I just was like, all right. Started reading thyroid books and things like that. But the labs are so comprehensive. There's stuff in there that most people don't look at, you know. Um, I I thought there was some things when I had the conversation with Gillis, traditional lab normal values. Those are for a majority of people. We don't know what our normal values are. Every single person is different. So unless you have had serial labs done over the last 20 years, that's just a suggestion of what normal is. So they will tell you. What I learned from Gillis and Justin was, okay, well, yes, these seem normal, but why are they on the low end of the scale, or why are they on the high end of scale? And then when mixed with these other labs, this is what this is looking like to us and how to fix it. And then that information would get back to Lisa. And then Lisa would work with the other coaches, you know. It's not just one coach, which I think makes your program unbelievable, because I didn't just have access to Lisa. I had access to Charlotte and Sophia, and they all have these very cool different philosophies, and sometimes you just need that. So we had coffee with coaches. We had where you would just questions, things like that. It's all of it is, I think, is what made me feel successful.
It's great to hear. So, yeah, you worked briefly with Sophia and Charlotte, or they helped you along your journey too. That's amazing.
Oh yeah. So Sophia's the mindset. In my mind, I'm sure this is all wrong, but Lisa was chosen as my main coach, which I don't know how you do the choosing, but she was so perfect for me. Her approach, the way she disseminated information, all of those things, she was just perfect. And then I was having trouble with mindset, and I had seen a couple of posts by Sophia, and Lisa was like, why don't you just book a session with Sophia? You can talk to her. It's not, it's not cheating. Um, so I got to talk to Sophia a couple of times, and it really kind of, you know, it just brought a different perspective, which is exactly what I needed at the time. And then I always think of Charlotte as like the tough love coach. She's very direct. But I think I don't have the same health restrictions as she does, but she is, when you want to talk commitment and my commitment and persistence and consistency, that's her all day.
Yeah, I'm very, very grateful to have such an amazing coaching team. The whole
It's
team is amazing.
it really is. And then I think there was a new coach that came. There was a couple of different ones, and they all add something different. So you're not just with the same. I believe me, I love Lisa. I would be with Lisa until I was 100. But when you have other perspectives and other ways of disseminating information, other ways of saying what you need to hear at the time, it's so important. It's not, you can't always be on the program on this one mindset all the time. So if you're having issues, talk to your coach. The coaches, and then the coaches talk to each other, and then talk to you and come back to you with information. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a great community we have as well, and we're so delighted that you were with us for a year, and I think you'll be coming back to us soon. Fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's it's vital. It's absolutely vital. I think people, we're willing to spend money on gadgets. If I could get a tenth of the money I had spent on Octavia, on Weight Watchers, on Jenny Craig, on fake food, on diet pills, I would be a millionaire. But if you focus it and channel it in the right direction, this is where healthcare is going. This is where healthcare is going. This country itself cannot sustain the healthcare shit show that's coming. So people are being much more proactive, much more functional medicine. And that's what this is. I think you just happen to be on the very beginning end of educating women about their health. Menopause gets a half a semester in medical school, one half a semester. Well, there is hundreds of thousands of women that are just being treated incorrectly. And there's same thing with nutrition. We're just being told the wrong things. The pyramid is wrong. It's just wrong.
And the weight loss industry is a 60 or $70 billion industry every year, and it preys on women who just want results now. And
yep,
for women over 40, it's not as simple as eating less and moving more. I mean, you're a testament. It's just a temporary fix, and it causes more harm than good.
Yep.
Women need to be, and men, educated on proper, sustainable fat loss and nutrition and hormone health, gut health.
Yep. They're not interested in sustainable, because sustainable, if you are taught to do it yourself, you're not going to need the diet industry anymore. And
Exactly, that is true. Well, we're really happy that you came on today and to share your story. Have you any message for potential clients watching this that are on the fence or skeptical or just really stuck in their ways and they just don't want to change, or any message for those people?
Yeah. You can't, healthcare is expensive. I don't care what it is that you do. If you're on the back end of it, you're paying for prescriptions, you're paying for procedures, you're paying for gastric bypass, you're paying for all these things. Once you have hit a certain level of decline, it's very difficult to come back from. Just be proactive. This is not a gimmick. This is a lifelong educating process with people that know what they're doing. The trust that we have been bullshitted so much. This process works. It works. Don't be afraid of the reverse. You need it, and it'll be life changing. Life changing.
Thanks very much, Shannon, for joining us. God bless you and take care.